Good evening, Bear Bull traders. This is Mac coming at you with my first trade recap. Today was kind of an unusual day in that didn't really get into any really great trades during the day. I did have one first thing this morning, which I did post on Twitter on Uber, that I did catch a nice drop there at the open and partialed all the way down to a level that I had set pre-market. And afterwards, I kind of wish I had actually flipped my position and gone long. And that position would have, or that trade would have paid off a lot better had I done that. But I moved on, took a few other trades. I traded AMD most of the day, ended up slightly positive on it, but honestly, I over traded it. But I left and came back later in the day, even though I had decided that I was done trading. In fact, I even mentioned in the room to Peter that I was just back to lose some money because I was bored, and I did lose a little bit of money. I stopped out on a Tesla trade, and also lost a little bit of my AMD profits. So that wasn't great. But after the closing bell, I got a notification about 4:30 or so that the president would be on at 5 p.m. to do his daily briefing. And so, as I normally do while I'm working on some other things, I pull up YouTube and try to find that feed. And when I did, this was around 5 o'clock or so, what I saw was a couple men setting up a little table here and putting a product on it. And when I zoomed in on that, I immediately recognized this little logo here as Abbott Labs. And it's nothing new. The president has actually talked about Abbott Labs the last couple days. In fact, I actually posted on Twitter this weekend that I would be looking at it today. And if it didn't gap up over 10%, that I would probably take it for a swing long. But it did gap up over 10% and then was weak from there, so I did not take the trade. But when I saw this prior to President Trump speaking, I immediately jumped right on it. And I bought in. The price of the stock was at $79.97 or 95, excuse me, $79.95 at the time. I immediately jumped in and I went in all the way. I'd never taken such a large position in after hours, but I just saw this as an opportunity that, worst case scenario, I come out break even and it's a nothing story. And while I was waiting on him to come out and start speaking, I also started tweeting and posting on the page. Of course, everybody's gone because it's after 5 o'clock, and it was my intention to try to notify as many people as I could that, hey, this is probably going to get a little bit of a pop when they talk about it during this briefing. And sure enough, it did. Here you go. You can see my trade where I took it here at $79.95, and I set my first partial for VWAP, which is what this purple line is. And I know some of y'all, actually probably almost all of y'all, use DOS Trader, and that's great. I just don't find it necessary for my trading style. But here you can see I set partials. I actually put these in advance. I did not, take partials as it went up. I actually put these levels in advance, and it just took them out one after another, right all the way up to about 81.55. Then it started looking a little bit weak and selling off, so I went ahead and took the rest of it off. But I had already taken about 2/3 off by the time it reached this point up here. And so I took the rest of it off down here, and it turned out that this was actually kind of the bottom on the drawback here. So I probably could have held a little bit longer, but I was so happy with this trade because it was nothing that I typically do. I'm not big on after hours trading. I'll trade sometimes in the morning, but after hours is pretty rare because I don't like trading earnings. I just find them way too unpredictable. But I was this trade really made my day, and I wanted to share that with you. It's kind of a unusual trade that just kind of sprung itself on me, and I was surprised, and hopefully it'll kind of open our eyes to this type of opportunity that we can keep on the lookout for this. And hey, maybe in the room we need to have some sort of method of notifying people of such opportunities in the after hours. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope everybody has had a great day, and I will talk to you in the morning. Bye-bye.